Okay, let's go. So let us begin. So you should be able to see my screen now. If you could leave a comment and let me know that you see my screen, and you also have a link to this as well. So, you can open it up on your own, and that's for you to keep as well. So what we're going to start with, anyone who has ever done a one-on-one session with me or a class or anything like that, you know that I always start out with an intention and a dua, a supplication. And I want to start off by saying that, as many of you know, most, if not all, of my work is very, very God-centered and specifically Islamically centered. Now, I know that we have people here who are not necessarily Muslim. And, whether you believe in a different religion or no religion, whatever the case may be, I want you to know that that is something that's important to me. So it's incorporated in my work. And, you could take, it as you please, inshallah. And please understand when I say things like Allah or inshallah, Allah is simply the Arabic word for God. So with that being said, I'm going to start, and I'm going to start with a supplication, a short supplication for this webinar, inshallah. So you can follow along, and then I'll give everyone a chance to do their own supplication, inshallah, God willing. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. Ya Allah, please increase us in tranquility. Ya Allah, please increase us in steadfastness. Ya Allah, increase us in good doings. Ya Allah, allow this to be beneficial in this life and the next. Inshallah, ameen, ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. Now go ahead and take a moment to yourself and set your own intention, okay? And then we will officially begin. And thank you again for those of you who are very, very patient. Go ahead and do your own intention. I will do the same. And by the way, I want to know what exactly happened. So if you could help me out one more time. Did any of you get my first link, and did it link to like the 7-day detox page? I'm not sure how or why that happened, but things happen. But if you got a link before that, wasn't that great? Could you leave me a comment and let me know? Because I do think that happened. And in terms of the comments, I am well. Thank you. Iman, I am well, alhamdulillah. And I just see your comment here, Diane. That's okay that you're late. We actually had some technical difficulties. So you made it, and you made it just in time. All that you've missed is that we have started off with a short intention. So go ahead and, make an intention that aligns with you. So let's start for why you all registered for this webinar. So last time I checked, and people are still signing up, but last time I checked, there were 30 women from all over the globe, mostly United States. We had some Switzerland, some Nigeria. There was the UK, Australia, Belgium, Malaysia, Germany, Tunisia, maybe some others, Canada, if I didn't say that already. But I know not everyone is here live, because in some parts, some of those places, it's a crazy time right now, like in terms of what time it is. But, that is why the recording will be up for at least 24 hours. Now, this is not, if you signed up late, I tried to get everyone's in here, but if you signed up sometime after 4:30 Eastern time today, you're not going to see your reason here, but I still got it, and I still have it in my files, and I will be reviewing it. But you could read through. Can everyone see my screen okay? You also have access to this on your computer, because I sent you the link to this slide deck. But yeah, drop me a comment and let me know if you could see this. And, you could read through. A lot of people said that they want to be healthy, that they want to learn new ways to improve their lifestyle, that they want to be fit, that, let's see what else we got here, that some people said they're falling off track, that they're feeling blah, that they need to detox, they want to lose weight. Some people said that they need a reboot. There were so many great reasons. All of you, you each have your own reasons. Some are very similar to one another. But yeah, read through that. So you could kind of, one of the great things about group classes is that you can really get a feel for other women who have similar goals, even if they're a little different. And it's great for feeling like you're part of a community. So I highly encourage you to read all of those. Someone said they want to enhance their self-awareness. Someone said they want to feel strong mentally and also physically. So you all have really great reasons for wanting to be here. And even if you're the one who wrote that you're feeling blah or that you're falling off track, that's okay. It's okay to acknowledge. It's actually great to acknowledge that that you need a little bit of help. And that is exactly what we will accomplish. So first I want to start off, we are on the next slide now. I want to start off by letting you know my interpretation of detox. And, detox is such an interesting word because it's used in a lot of different ways. The first thing I'll say is that I believe in detoxing in a way that is fun and that is sane. So, I try to respect others and the way that they do things. So I'm not going to put anyone down for doing it differently. But I've spent a lot of time working with women, both one-on-one and in group settings. And one thing I could tell you is that deprivation and crazy extreme methods that are not sustainable, they just don't work. So therefore, things like juice detoxes, where all you do is drink juice for a very long period of time, or you restrict yourself from food, I don't believe that this is the best way to detox. Also because it's not sustainable, so you can't do that forever. Obviously, that's not even good for you. And two, psychologically, it takes a toll. And also it's also kind of imbalanced because a lot of women, when they do it that way, they don't transition in that greatly and they don't transition out that greatly, so and it relies mainly on willpower versus being something that's going to empower you. Willpower is important. Willpower is what gets you to take that first step, to do things that are good for you, even if you might not want to. But you shouldn't make something. You should really have like a more sustainable reason than just willpower to really incorporate this into your life as a habit. So, and some of you are very familiar with the way that I view detox because you're familiar with my classes and you've heard me talk about it before. But basically, the main important thing is that we detox naturally every single day, right? You don't need to go on a juice fast to kick in your detoxes, to kick in your body's ability to detox, right? Because your body is already detoxing. You have organs that are, all of your organs detox, really, if you want to think about it that way, but you have organs that specifically are designed to detox, specifically your liver, that is one of the biggest filters in the body. Your kidney filters out things. Your skin is one of the biggest detoxing organs and the biggest organ to begin with. And so basically, my job here is to give you some simple little changes that you can do every single day that will tremendously upgrade your natural process. Some people, their body's natural ability to detox is not even existent. It could be because of disease, whether that's something big or even, minor, or whether it's chronic or minor, like I mentioned before. It could be because the body is overtaxed. There's way too many toxins, too many coming in, more coming in than the amount going out. Some people have, there are genetic mutations that can actually impact the body's ability to detox. One of the most common ones is something called MTHFR. 30% of the population has it. It means that your body's ability to methylate, methylation is responsible for many different things, including detox, is reduced. This is a genetic mutation that actually it falls on, my family has that genetic mutation and many others. I've seen many clients who have it. And, it's something to consider when realizing, what toxins your body is getting from the environment, from chemicals, from different things. So the most important thing is to remember that your body detoxes every single day. It's detoxing right now. you might have certain things that reduce your body's ability, whether it be genetics, whether it be where you live, whether it be your lifestyle choices. And there are things you can do to improve your detoxification. So if you look at it like a math formula, the best thing you could do, I mean, you can't change your genetics. You certainly can change your lifestyle habits for sure. And you can't change your body's natural abilities the way that it does things, just by itself, but you can upgrade it, So my job is to give you some tips that are going to be easy to implement. That's the fun part. The fun part is I'm not going to ask you to do anything crazy that's going to make you miserable. I also have a really cool chart later on that I'm going to share with you that I created, where I'm going to share different levels of commitment depending on how serious you are about your health, mentally, physically, and spiritually. Based on that, you can decide how much you want to invest. And by invest, I don't mean money. By invest, I mean how much you're willing to do lifestyle-wise to have the positive change that you want. Okay. So we're going to go to my detox superstars. We're going to start with some fun things, some things that if anyone has ever watched my videos or taken a class with me, you've heard me talk about this before, but it's so important when we mention detox. So I'm going to review some detox superstars. I don't know that I've ever called them those before, but okay. Let's see. So if everyone is if you're able to hear good and whatnot, please feel free to leave a comment. If you have a question, you can leave that in the comments. I'll check it every so often, God willing, inshallah. And I have a whole list of questions that were submitted before this webinar actually started, and I have them listed here. So we will certainly go through those. And as you know, I shared this in the emails and whatnot and social media. I will be talking about my 7-day detox. It's a longer program. It starts on the 20th. I'll be talking about that at the end. So if you're interested, definitely stick around for that. If you're not, if you just want to get today's content, it's going to be a lot of content. You are more than welcome to leave after that. But yeah, I do know that many of you are actually excited about that and want to learn more. So let us see here. Okay. And 1 second, seem to have a little bit of another technical difficulty. Technical difficulties, they happen. They're inevitable. I promise I spent hours prepping this webinar, and you know what? Technical difficulties are still going to happen. The good news is that I know exactly what's going on right now, and I will fix it instantly, God willing, inshallah. So just give me 1 second here. Okay. Okay, great. So I'm going to share my screen again. I've got my PDF. Let's see. Okay, all better. And this one is not online. It's on the computer, so we shouldn't lose it. Okay, so my goal is to give you some tips that you can easily add to your life, okay? So if you've ever worked with me, you might be familiar with the concept of crowding out. Crowding out is adding more good things in so that there's less room for other things, and so that you can focus on positive change versus focusing on taking things away. I will be talking a little bit later about how taking some things away might be beneficial for specific people, but right now we're just going to focus on crowding out. Now, if you're interested in increasing your body's ability to detox on an everyday basis, there has to be 3 staples. I will say at least 2, because it's possible to have an allergy to one of these things, although it's not that common. So, and that is lemon. Some people are allergic to lemon, but it's pretty uncommon. But anyway, water. Water is so important. So our bodies are mostly compromised of water. Everyone knows this, but a lot of people do not walk around hydrated. A lot of people walk around um, dehydrated constantly. So it's really important to make sure that you are hydrated. And I always recommend that you aim for at least half your body weight in ounces. So if you weigh 130 pounds, that is 65 ounces of water. If you weigh, right? Yeah, one, yes. If you had to think about that for a second, math is actually one of my strong suits, but all this technology makes us like forget how to do like simple basic math. But anyway, if you weigh 200 pounds, you want at least 100 ounces of water. And honestly, I recommend even more than that, right? So I recommend that you really increase that, especially if you're exercising, especially if you want to drink, especially if you want to lose weight, especially if you're having energy issues. I personally try to drink at least a gallon of water every single day, and that is way more than I need for my weight requirement. Way more. And I'm not saying that that's what you should do. You should see where you are now, and you should increase it, but you want to make sure you stay hydrated, right? And the weather is starting to get nicer. I guess it also depends where you are in the world. I also realize that not everywhere in the world does spring start later this month. I realize that there are different seasons, different times of years in the different hemispheres. But nonetheless, even though I know that this attracts an international audience, I still keep it spring detox. Spring could also be a state of mind. But anyway, here in where I live in New Jersey and in just this part of the world, it's been cold. We're just getting slowly starting to get closer to spring, but it's been cold previous to that. And I know when it's cold, people drink less water. So even myself, like I just mentioned, I typically drink a gallon of water each day. It is way more than I'm required to because I like to stay hydrated. I know that that is what makes my body feel good. But even in the winter, I know sometimes I would struggle with that, and I'd maybe only get in a gallon is 16 cups. It's 128 ounces. In the winter time, sometimes I might have like 12, which is still it's relevant. It's not relevant. What's the word I'm looking for? It is going to change for everyone. So I drink a lot of water to begin with. That's even 12 is way more than I need for my body size, but I know what makes me feel optimal. So my body is used to extra water. Therefore, even having that 12, which is way more than I need, once again, for my size or whatnot. But I'm trying to drill home the point that water is so important. It makes such a difference. Now, you want to make sure you're never drinking more than 4 glasses of water at a time. For some people, that might be too much. You kind of have to train your body. But if you drink any more than that, which is 32 ounces, you are at risk for overworking your kidneys. So you want to make sure that it is spaced out throughout the day. Try to start early on in the day. If you drink too much at night, if you're racing to finish it at night, you are going to have disturbed sleep because you're going to have to wake up a lot to use the bathroom. So try to, drink early on in the day, every few hours. I personally like to drink about 20 minutes before I eat. And then I don't drink water while I eat. That's the best for digestion. And, maybe drink again like an hour or two after, you eat. So water is the first superstar. So what I want to know in the comments is, what does your water game look like? I'm going to go to our comments right now. So give me a second. How are you doing with water? Are you doing great? Could you be drinking more water? If you want to make an intention for everyone else to see, go ahead and do that. I actually just got I got a text message from from someone who I've worked with one-on-one who does not have a Facebook account, and she said how she can't comment. I'm going to teach you a little trick for anyone who wants to comment who doesn't have a Facebook account. I would really recommend, if you do have a Facebook account, to comment on the page, because I have everything laid right out there on that page for you. But if you don't have a Facebook account, what you could do is you could right click the video on the page, okay? Like you see me doing here, you could copy the URL, which is going to give you the YouTube link, and then you can paste it in, and you can actually watch this on YouTube, and you can comment in YouTube. Now, you will need a Google account to comment in YouTube, but that is something for anyone who doesn't have a Facebook account. I'm going to be checking the comments that show up here on this page, but I will also check those every so often. So again, if you want to comment and you don't have a Facebook page, no problem at all. Just right click, hit copy URL, paste it up in your browser or on your phone, and you could comment there. So I hope that that helps. And I'm going to go ahead and check and see what comments we might have, just to see what everyone's saying about water. Okay, so now we're going to talk about lemon. Okay, so lemon is awesome. It's really high in vitamin C. It boosts your immunity levels, and it improves your digestion. It has a lot of great fresh enzymes. It alkalizes the body's pH level, which helps reduce acidity, which is really important because certain foods that we eat that are good for us, even like most protein sources, are acidic. And most protein sources are acidic, and grains are also acidic, amongst other things. Sugar is acidic. That's a whole different story. But let's see here. So you're going to be eating things, even healthy things that your body needs. Your body obviously needs protein that are acidic. You want to make sure that you are counteracting that with alkalizing foods. Lemon is one of the best ways. Personally, there's many different ways to do it. I love to drink lemon water. Recently, I like to switch things up too. I get bored very easily. I don't know if anyone here gets bored easily, but I switch things up, but I do not let things slide. So let's say I just don't feel like having lemon water, which lately I haven't been having too much lemon water. I've been cooking with a lot of lemon. So putting lemon on green vegetables daily, putting most of the time, at least twice a day, putting lemon on chicken, for example. So you can cook with it. There's so many different things you could do. You can substitute lime. Lime has a little bit less vitamin C content, but it's still a good substitute. But lemons are great, and I would switch between the two. Let's see what else. And then dark leafy greens are another superstar. So most women do not have enough dark leafy greens. I could start out by saying that. And so you want to really incorporate dark leafy greens into your day numerous times a day. Now, if you're not eating any greens at all right now, I would just start with just having it at least once a day. But if you're having it once a day, try twice a day. If you're having it twice a day, try 3 times a day. Greens are good because it increases energy by alkalizing the body's pH level. And it has a lot of fiber, which helps improve digestion. I like to say how fiber is similar to like a broom. It kind of sweeps things through the digestive system. And it's also great for clearing congestion by reducing mucus in the body, right? And then there's so many different types of greens. I mean, most people think of spinach as a popular one, broccoli is a popular one, kale has become pretty popular, but just realize that there's so many other ones, and I have them listed here. Bok choy, cabbage, kale, collard greens, watercress, mustard greens, broccoli rabe, dandelion, arugula, chicory, lettuce, wild greens, Swiss chard, beet greens. There's so much more, and there's more that I didn't mention here. And you want to rotate your greens too. You don't always want to be eating the same greens because greens have something called oxalates. It's a type of acid, and it could actually deplete the body of calcium and take a toll on the body. Now, does that mean that greens are bad? No, they're excellent. You should have them all the time. But it's interesting, it's so miraculous how God has given us such awesome things. But everything has like a positive side and I don't even want to call it a negative side, but nothing in this world is perfect, right? This world is not designed to be perfect. And sometimes certain foods, like for instance, grains and beans, have something called phytic acid. You could reduce the phytic acid by soaking it, but phytic acid is not good for digestion. The reason why that exists is that so, like in the wilderness or whatnot, like it'll be protected from bugs and whatnot. That's like just one of the reasons. So it's really miraculous. But one of the ways that you can make sure that you're not getting too many oxalates is by rotating your greens. And just note that spinach, Swiss chard, and beet greens are best eaten in moderation because they're pretty high in those oxalates, and that doesn't mean you have to avoid them. We eat spinach a lot here, but you want to just rotate them and be mindful of that. Now, people like to ask about green powders like spirulina wheatgrass. They are a good substitute, especially if you get like a high quality one that has been freeze dried and that is, has good reviews and, the company really has a good process and whatnot. They're good for you. I mean, I take a green powder every single day, but I don't let it substitute eating greens. So I would just be wary to say that if you're going to be consuming a green powder, you want to first make sure it's a high quality one. I like Green Vibrance, and no, I don't get paid to say that or anything like that, but it's just a really good brand. There's other good brands like Amazing Grass and whatnot, but or Garden of Life. But let's see, what was I saying? You want to actually be eating greens too, because you're not going to be getting fiber in its whole form from that powder, right? And you want to make sure too to stay away. Sometimes there's green powders or green juices that are loaded with sugar. So you just want to read the ingredients and be careful there. Now, we've spent some time talking about the physical body, right? Water, lemon, leafy greens, great for detoxing the physical body. And when you're a woman, your physical body, your spiritual being, and your mental being, it's all connected. I mean, it's all connected. So, even though we're talking about the physical body, it relates to the others, right? But I want to pause for a second. I want us to get a little bit grounded, and I want you to do an activity. And while you do this activity, I'm going to check in on to see if there's any new comments or whatnot, or if there's any questions that have been submitted. They will be answered. I have a question list at the end, and any new questions will be added to the end. But let's see here. The activity. So you're going to take a piece of paper. If you want to do this digitally, you could do it like in a Word document, but I think there's something really therapeutic about taking pen to paper. So I would recommend that, but whatever makes you happy. And we're going to do a brain dump activity. So this is really good. I love to do this with clients. You're basically going to make a list of anything that is on your mind or stressing you out at the moment, okay? And you're just going to write it down. I mean, don't worry about anyone else seeing this. I mean, you could throw it away or burn it or do whatever you want. If you burn it, please be careful. I don't want to be responsible for starting a fire, nor it's not just about responsibility. I don't want you to be in that situation, but you get what I mean. I mean, don't be shy to write things down, even if it seems stupid, because if these things are living up in your head, you want to get it down on paper. It's just such a release to just write them down. I love doing this activity. I have not met anyone who hasn't benefited from this. So you're basically just going to write down anything that is a to-do or a stress or just something on your mind. So take a couple moments, do that brain dump activity. Meanwhile, I will check out, if I have any new comments or anyone experiencing any difficulties. So when you're done with your activity, go ahead and leave a comment and let me know that you're done. So maybe like 30 more seconds on that activity. And if you need more time, you can actually pause. It's live right now. I'm speaking live to you, but you are able to pause and then you can play. It'll be a little lagged for you, but that's okay. But if you want more time, you can do that. Not a problem at all. But yeah, it's a really, really great activity. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that. Again, if you want more time with that activity, you can absolutely pause and then just, play and, it'll still be practically live, right? So, yeah, real quick on that activity. It is great. It's just a great way to detox mentally. It's one of my favorite tools. If you're anything like me, I can have given at any possible moment a bajillion things on my mind at the moment. I'm just a very creative person. I think about a lot of stuff. I mean, sometimes, I'm talking to my husband and maybe asking him to do something, and I might mention like a couple things at once, and he's like, "Hold on a second," like like he's still focusing on the first one. And scientifically, psychologically, women are more likely to multitask than men. So, I kind of just laugh because I feel bad. He's really good at doing a bunch of different things, but really, can only focus at one thing at a time. And honestly, that's something I've trained myself to do because it is so much better to do one thing at a time than a million things at once. But regardless, in terms of the way your brain works and whatnot, and the way your brain is wired, this is a great activity to kind of streamline everything. So I hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope that you'll keep using it, God willing. So I had you guys fill out check boxes for certain things in your life, and I made this little chart. And this is for the first 27 women who signed up because I, took all the data up until about 4:30 p.m. Eastern time. And if you submitted after, that's okay. I still got your information, but obviously I had to finish this. So a lot of you said that you need help staying consistent or starting a fitness routine, 23 out of 27. That's a lot, and that's okay. That's usually one of the things I find that women struggle with the most. And even myself, I mean, fitness has been part of my life since I was like really like officially part of my life, like regularly since I was like a senior in high school. I had physical activity before then, but I've really been committed since then. So for many, many years now. And I know for myself, sometimes I'll get bored, so I'll switch things up. Maybe that means, if I was working out by myself, maybe I'll switch it up and start taking classes instead. Or if I'm getting a little bit bored with using like weight machines, I'll use loose weights. Or if I'm getting bored with cardio equipment, I'll go outside. The most important thing is that you want to keep it exciting. That is really important. I know if I wasn't switching it up, I probably would fall off the wagon completely. I'm not even going to lie. But keeping yourself accountable and switching it up is really important because let me tell you, you are tremendously in a better place when you exercise regularly than when you're not. And I'll be talking about it a little bit later, but I have a really, really, really nice way to incorporate exercise easily and effortlessly. I mean, it takes some effort, but rather easily in the 7-day spring detox. Every day comes with a fitness challenge, but I'll talk about that a little bit later, God willing. So, a lot of you said that you have a lot of different roles and you could really use some relaxation from overwhelm. I could relate to you. I totally understand. We all have so many different roles, and for each of us, that looks a little bit different. But that was another big one. A lot of you said how you're highly sensitive. Many of you know, because I've shared it in videos, blog posts with clients and classes, that I myself am very highly sensitive. I'm prone to stress, but I put things in place to keep things under control. As women, I like to kind of compare it to like a radio example. You know how like radios have like an antenna. A lot of women we're geared differently, and you could look this up online. There's actually something called highly sensitive person, and you could take a test to see if you fall under that. But for a lot of us that are highly sensitive, our nervous systems are actually designed differently, right? So our nervous systems are more sensitive. So it's really important to realize that, because the better you get to know yourself, the more you can prep yourself against that, against like burning out. And I have some tips below. We'll get to that soon. A good amount of you said your vegetable game needs an upgrade, which is really important. If you have my Glow from the Inside Out cookbook, there's a lot of fun ways to make vegetables in there, from kale chips to even carrot chips to, putting it, making things, different recipes with eggs or chicken or different types of things. There's many different ways. You can blend it, make like a spinach artichoke dip. There's just so many different things you could do, but you want to really eat your vegetables, right? And my cookbook does, for anyone who doesn't have it, it does come with the 7-day spring detox. Your sleep routine needs an upgrade. A good amount of you have said that. I know for me personally, if I didn't practice certain things, it impacts my sleep. So in terms of letting go of technology, in terms of making sure that the room is very dark, in terms of limiting noises, there's many different things. And, I understand that for some people, depending on where you are in your life, this might not be possible. I mean, I know someone who signed up has a 4-month-old baby. So, different people have different things. But my most important thing here is meet yourself where you are and do what you can with what you can. And I'm going to have concrete tips, but you could kind of see here. I mean, a lot of you want to cook more, don't know where to start. Some of you said you feel sluggish and irritable. Some of you said you struggle with digestive issues and discomfort. Some of you said you suffer with sinus discomfort and allergies. Could totally relate to that one. Alhamdulillah, all praise and gratitude is due to God. I haven't in recent years suffered with this, but I used to really suffer badly with this. And I'll share some of the things that really helped me with that, because that is not something that's fun. But, it's really great to have things that you could do to change where you currently are. And a lot of you said, that you lead a healthy lifestyle and love learning new ways to do so. So based on that, I have some recommendations for you. Now, you're going to see that this chart has a minor recommendation section and a major recommendation. For each of those things that I just mentioned that you checked off, some of you checked off different things, it depends how committed you want to be, right? So do you really want a big difference, and are you willing to invest making big changes? Then you might want to look at the major recommendation category. If you're not ready to do what's in the major recommendation category, you can stick to the minor. It's still really good. So if you deal with sinus discomfort and allergies, one of the easiest ways to help your congestion out a little bit is to eat raw ginger daily. That's a minor recommendation because it's not that hard to add it in your day, Now, a major recommendation, which it takes more commitment and it might be hard for some. And again, you should really only do this if you are committed wholeheartedly. Not if you're committed wholeheartedly, but if you really don't do it from a restriction point of view, right? So I know for me, cutting out dairy several years ago totally helped, because dairy is a huge mucus forming food. I love dairy, but I like to breathe more than I like dairy, you know, and there are great substitutes, there are great recipes. I don't feel deprived, you know, and yeah, so that's that, and refined sugar. So if you're ready to take that step and your sinuses are really bad, you might want to consider that. But if you're not, then you could just start eating raw ginger daily. It's still going to help. You might also want to consider using a neti pot, but make sure you really Google some good videos on tips for using a neti pot, because if you don't do it the proper way, you could get an ear infection. But neti pots help so much with that too. Now, if you struggle with digestive issues, I recommend you take a good probiotic. A brand that I use and recommend is Primal Defense Ultra by Garden of Life. Again, I'm not getting paid to represent that company or anything. It's just really good, so I like to share it. But there's other ones too. You just want to make sure it's high quality. You can also eat foods with probiotics like sauerkraut. I would say either make your own sauerkraut or get a really good brand that's not pumping in like dyes and things like that. So I know that there's a brand I get from a local supermarket here in New Jersey, a supermarket called Wegmans. I think the brand is called like Eden Foods or something, but it's, you know, it's made sauerkraut. It's stored in glass. The only ingredients are cabbage, water, and some sea salt. So it's really clean ingredients and it's organic. You know, so that has natural probiotics. So that's a minor recommendation because it's not that hard to take a pill and to eat some extra foods, in this case, sauerkraut. A major recommendation, this takes a little bit more commitment, is to separate your drink and food. Drinking liquids 20 minutes before and 2 hours after. That's a little bit harder to do. If you're not ready to do that, that's fine. But if you are, that'll make a big difference for you. You know, another thing that I didn't mention there, but if you really have some digestive issues, cutting out gluten helps as well. Again, this is not from a restrictive perspective. You kind of just want to see it as, okay, here are my options. How much change do I want to make? How much results do I want to get? What do I want to do? And then you just decide, like an adult, right? So that is that. If you feel sluggish and irritable, a quick, nice recommendation you could do is begin your day with lemon water. Something that's a little bit harder, drinking a gallon of water per day, cutting out sugar. That'll definitely help you feel amazing, but it's harder to do. So you kind of have to decide which one you want to do. I really like this chart, not to brag, but you decide which of these you need to work on, and then you decide, are you going to go minor or major? And don't try to do too many things at once. So if you checked off a lot of different things, don't do everything at once. Just pick one thing you're going to start to do. Otherwise, you're setting yourself up for failure. You can really only focus on one thing at a time. If you want to cook more, but you don't know where to start, a minor recommendation from me to you is to go to the bookstore or the library or even websites online and plan out recipes. I mean, I love to just make stuff up. Like I just combine things in the kitchen and let's see, I just combine things and, just kind of make things up as I go. But I also love to sometimes go to the bookstore or search online and look at cookbooks and things like that. So that's a way that you could kind of get inspired. A major recommendation to encourage cooking more is to actually cook and freeze. So I know for me, and I've shared this before, I cook chicken in bulk about every week and a half to 2 weeks. It doesn't take that long. I just bake all of it, and it kind of just gets it out of the way. And then I store it in glass Pyrexes in the freezer, and then I take it out on a daily basis, and it's already fully cooked, but I kind of use it to how I want to make a meal for that day. So I repurpose it, and that saves a lot of time. So you decide what that is. Now that is a little bit of extra work, so but for me that's worth it. If your sleep routine needs an upgrade, you want to try chamomile tea at night and lavender essential oil. That's the minor recommendation. The major recommendation is to set a cutoff time for electronics. Turn off your Wi-Fi. You really want to sleep with your Wi-Fi off if you can control it. I know some people live in places where they don't control the Wi-Fi, but for us here, we power off the Wi-Fi at night, turn it back on in the morning. You reduce your radiation. You get a deeper sleep. You really want to do that. You want to turn down lights, have a certain cutoff time for turning off lights, because light prohibits melatonin, which is a major sleep hormone. And another one, if you want to add there too, is you might want to set a cutoff time for eating. I know that I need a good amount of time before the last time I eat and before sleeping. Otherwise, I won't be able to sleep. Or if I do sleep, I'll have like crazy dreams. So you want to really give your time to digest before you sleep. Let's see what else. If your vegetable game needs an upgrade, what you could do is you could scan your grocery cart for a variety of greens before checkout. So before you go and you check out and you pay for your groceries, look at your cart. Do you have a lot of greens there? I mean, if you don't get them at the grocery store, you're not going to miraculously make them when you get home. So you want to make sure that you get them at the grocery store. And a major recommendations is to make greens a non-negotiable part of each meal. So that's a major decision, to have greens at every meal. That's something I do. It's really important, especially breakfast, and I would recommend it if you want to try that out. If you're highly sensitive and get stressed easily, the minor recommendation is for every stressful or high stimulus thing you do something that you enjoy. So stress is part of an equation. It was pretty stressful when it was 7:00 whatever, and we still hadn't started because of technical difficulties. But you know what? It happens, and you want to incorporate stress relieving things. Family could be stressful sometimes. Finances can be stressful sometimes. Many things could be stressful a lot. So you want to make sure that you are reducing your stress for sure. A major recommendation would be to list your stresses out and cut something stressful out of your life. So that's asking a little bit more of you. If you have a lot of different roles and could use some relaxation from the overwhelm, my minor recommendation is pull away as you need to and take a breather, stretch. The major recommendation is to schedule time for yourself. Now, if you're like me, I am rather spontaneous, meaning I like schedules and I like to go on a schedule, but I like to be spontaneous and do things in the moment. So if you like to be spontaneous with your relaxation, like it's stressful to plan your relaxation, you don't have to schedule it, but instead you prioritize it. So you make it just as important as brushing your teeth. I mean, you're not going to go the day without brushing your teeth. You're not going to go the day without feeding your kids. So don't, because that's a non-negotiable in your mind. So make it a non-negotiable to relax and then prioritize it. And then if you need help staying consistent or starting a fitness routine, you can write yourself out a little schedule, commit certain days, times when you'll work out. Don't even try to make it that long. Just do it as long as you can. And usually you end up working out longer anyway. A major recommendation is to get the accountability of a workout buddy, a coach, a trainer, sign up for a program, etc. So this chart, feel free to revisit, and I'd love to hear your feedback. Is anyone willing to commit to a minor or major recommendation in our comments? Because I'd love to see you commit to something. By the way, for anyone that might have to go, this will be available on the recording, but since we started a little late and there's still a good amount of Q&A, I'm probably going to go for maybe about 30 more minutes if anyone wants to know. And I know some people had to leave, not a problem. Thank you for letting me know. See, we still got a good amount of people here. Would love to see some comments, but if you guys are good, then I'm good. So now we're going to go to questions. So these are the things that you asked that I'm going to answer. So the first question was, how can I lose weight? So the traditional way to lose weight is to, do things like count your calories or eat less, exercise, things like that. And many of you know that I lost a significant amount of weight many years ago, almost 40 pounds. And this was several years ago, when I had a little bit of a different mentality. So I was into that whole like counting calories and things like that. I do not count anything now, and I, happily maintain myself, alhamdulillah. But here's my advice in a way that is not going to drive you crazy, where you don't have to count anything. Here are a few pointers. One, if you want to lose weight, eat at regular times. So have meals. Don't nibble on snacks. Have concrete meals. Every meal should have a protein source, a fat source, and a carb source. Not necessarily a carb source at night, but definitely earlier on in the day. You want to increase your protein when you're trying to lose weight. And I don't want to say that you want to decrease your carbs, but most women are carb heavy and protein light. So you want to just make sure you're not consuming too many carbs. Keep that in mind. You don't have to count anything, but just know that that is not good for your blood sugar level. Protein will help you feel more stabilized. Drink a lot of water. So you could try that for sure. If you follow the 7-day spring detox, that should certainly help you lose weight. Let's see what else. How to incorporate more veggies every day. So I'll go back to the tip I shared before, which is scan your grocery cart for a variety of greens beforehand. If they're in your fridge, you're more likely to eat them. And, if you have my Glow from the Inside Out cookbook, there's lots of ways to incorporate greens in there. There's a lot of ways you could Google online, follow some healthy people online. You can look at cookbooks, other cookbooks at the library. There's really no excuse. I mean, even if money is an issue for you, there's the library. You could go to the bookstore and look at things. There's the internet. I mean, there's just so many different ways. But make vegetables fun. I mean, you can make chips out of vegetables. You can broil vegetables. You can boil. I said broil and then boil. You can, just do different things. You can season them differently with different spices. Someone said, what are healthy foods to eat? Oh, there's a lot. The 7-day spring detox comes with a shopping guide, like with a grocery list of things you could get, but I'll list some of the things that I would recommend. Healthy foods. Lemons are really healthy. Avocado, lean sources of protein, eggs, healthy oils like coconut oil, olive oil. Let's see what else. Berries are very good for you. Carrots are good for you. Greens are great. Those are some healthy foods. Someone said how to include more fruits and vegetables into meals. Similar question to before. You make the intention and get yourself excited by looking at some recipes, and you incorporate it, and you hold yourself accountable, whether that means doing it with a friend or your spouse, or asking someone to check in on you, or working with a coach, or taking a program. You hold yourself accountable some way, jotting it down, journaling it. Someone said, what is the best time to work out? So my best answer to this is, if you work out at different times of the day, there are some differences in terms of how it could benefit your body. For instance, in the morning versus at night, or whatever the case may be. My best advice is the time that you're going to do it every single day, the time that you can be consistent depending on your life. Exercise is cumulative, meaning that if in a 24-hour period you work out different times, it's as if you did it all in one shot. So if you have a newborn baby or something like that, like some women here do, you can work out for a couple of minutes, and then, a couple of minutes here, a couple of minutes there. Not a big deal. Short and sweet, and it's still better than nothing. So I would say whenever you can be consistent, and not too close to your sleep if you want your sleep to be high quality. And if you get tired in the middle of the day, it might be good to do that. Sometimes it's good to do it right in the morning. I have a client who says how when she works out in the morning, it's so much easier for her to do because nothing could get in the way. Some people, if you push it out too far, you're going to keep delaying it. Someone said, what is the best way to beat allergies? So I mentioned before, depends what kind of allergies you mean. I'm going to assume you mean things like sinuses. But if you mean sinuses, then I gave some tips above. But hold on one second. Ignore that call, but it's still coming through. Okay, we're good. So let's see. So if you mean sinuses, I gave some tips before, which were, eating ginger daily, using a neti pot. Make sure to use proper instruction for that. You can cut out dairy. You can cut out sugar. That'll help with sinus-related allergies. If it's like skin allergies or whatnot, drinking a lot of water is good. That is what I'd recommend there. If it's like a food allergy, obviously avoiding that food, depending on what it is. Different people have different food allergies. Someone says, how do I get rid of visual fat in my midsection? So this is a popular question. Give me 1 second here. I'm just going to send a text message so my sister does not call me again. And I'll call her right after, inshallah, God willing. Okay, thank you for your patience. So, here's the thing. You can't necessarily spot reduce. I know no one likes to hear that, but you could definitely tone. So, when you want to lose fat, you want to increase your protein. You know, you want to be conscious of your carbs, not too many carbs at nighttime. You want to drink a lot of water. You want to be positive, exercise, all of that, and you can absolutely, your midsection is one of the first places that someone will lose weight. Now, if you have a food sensitivity, you might be happy with your weight, but maybe you feel bloated or your midsection just feels big or whatever the case may be. If this is the case, that might be an indication of a food sensitivity. Could be something like a gluten sensitivity, a soy sensitivity, a dairy sensitivity, what have you. So you want to kind of experiment with different things, but I would say to follow the same tips I mentioned before for losing fat. Someone said, how to find motivation in Islam to achieve and maintain physical health. There's so much. I mean, I know personally, if you follow my work, my videos, my posts, I try to incorporate Islam a lot. I'm at Yasmina Isa on most places, Facebook, Instagram, my mailing list. There's many other people. If you look up certain hashtags, find sisters who are doing similar things. And that's one way to see what other people are doing. Always making an intention. So I like to make dua and set intentions. Just thinking of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and connecting the dots. I mean, if you're trying to lose weight, why are you trying to lose weight? Is it because you want to be more confident because it'll make you happier and that'll make you a better mother or a better wife, or because you'll feel better about yourself, because for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, like, you always want to connect it to a why, a really powerful why. Someone says, how do you manage stress? So a lot of you probably have my stress relief ebook. Some of you might not, though. I know we have some people here who I don't know, but we have some people here who have definitely taken some of my old stuff. But I wrote an ebook on stress relief. It will be given out to those who are part of the 7-day spring detox. Some of the best ways to manage stress are to take time out for yourself, to do something fun, to laugh, to take a break, to exercise, to do deep breaths. Those are some good ways there. And that kind of also how to be strong in a stressful society and not get overwhelmed by daily stress. So I did an emotions class a couple months ago. It was very, very popular. And I talked about this a lot, especially if you get overwhelmed. So feel free to contact me if you'd like to get the recording of that emotions class. But I would say get to know yourself well, get to know what stresses you well, and try to design your life in a way where you're not as impacted. And in some cases, you can't, like, you're still going to be around stress no matter what you do. So you want to make sure that you balance it out. Are you taking care of yourself? The problem with a lot of women is that there are stresses that we have, but then we don't counteract it. So you want to make sure that you're doing something for yourself. If you find yourself getting overwhelmed, go ahead and do that brain dump activity. I guarantee you'll feel better. I know I always do. Okay, how to gain muscle and lose fat. So definitely the tips that I mentioned before on the first question of increased protein, more water, controlling carbs, things like that. But also you want to weight lift. So either using weights or using your own body weight, and there's lots of videos all over the internet. I have daily exercise challenges for the 7-day spring detox, but definitely doing weight training for sure. Someone said stress and time management. So make sure that you're not overbooking yourself is the first one. The brain dump activity, again, I know I keep saying that, but it's a really good one. A lot of times it's just going back to basics. And some of this stuff I'm telling you, it's not like you guys don't know it. You do know it, but it's different to come and sit and listen to a webinar or listen to a class or enroll in a program and have an intention and get support. You know what I mean? So repetition is good. That's why God repeats things in the scriptures. So yeah, I would say, analyze your days. At the end of the day, think back. Where did you lose some time? Where do you think you can gain some time? So reflection and journaling helps a lot. Someone said, how do I get through each day and feel good? So I'm not sure if you mean physically or mentally or spiritually or emotionally, but I'm going to try to touch upon all of those things. Definitely follow some of the recommendations I mentioned above in terms of alkalizing more, drinking more water, getting in more greens, the brain dump activity, spending time with, good company. That should help you make you feel better. And this sister shared how she's got a lot of issues going on, from hormones being not balanced, fibroids, nodules, brain problems going on. There's many different things here: irregular periods, loud snoring, overweight. And she said that she's ashamed of herself and she's not able to change it yet. And she needs all the help you could get, all the help that she could get. So thank you, first of all, for sharing this thing, sister, because it's not easy to share that. Even if you feel ashamed of yourself, just know that you are making an intention. Try to make small changes. Go up to that list up top and pick a minor or major recommendation and just go through with it. Do it for a while, and then when that's a habit, then find another one and then do that for a while. And then when that's a habit, find another one and do that for a while. Because at the end of the day, we are nothing more than our habits. So right now, you have these problems because of your habits. If you change your habits, your problems will change, inshallah, God willing. Someone said how to get more out of the day. So first of all, if you increase your energy levels, which I shared a bunch of tips before for how you could do that, you're going to get more out of your day. Try to ask yourself, do you people please? Do you do things that reduce the amount of things you could do in a day? And you might want to reassess. Someone says how to cook healthier, but I don't know what to make nor start. So I don't know if you have my cookbook, but I like it and a lot of other people like it. So you might want to check that out. Like I mentioned before, you could go to the library or the bookstore and check out other cookbooks, but I would get some inspiration. It's really fun. I like to go to Barnes & Noble and look at them myself, or online. I kind of like to have something physical in my hand, but it's nice to kind of go to a bookstore or library because sometimes you might not like one person's entire cookbook, so you might want to look at like a couple, and sometimes you find one you really like and you can buy it and whatnot. But that's what I would recommend. Someone says, how do you maintain a healthy lifestyle long term? This is a really good question. So small, short, sustainable changes. So don't try to do anything too major. And by major, I know that I recommended some major recommendations up top. That is okay. But like, don't try to do too many of them at the same time, right? You want to do change by change. And in the 7-day detox, which I'll talk about more because I want to respect, I just want to answer all the questions and realize not everyone might want to hear about that. But I share like small sustainable tips that you could do each day. And the goal is to make them a lifestyle thing. So you want to just add small changes and make them non-negotiable and try to work them into your life. So for instance, someone asked before, when is the best time to work out? You might have read somewhere that the best time to work out and burn the most fat is first thing in the morning. And yeah, this might be true to a certain degree, but let's say that that's just not possible for you. You could spend your whole life trying to do that and it's just not working out, or you could work out when is better for you and it could be long term. So you want to do things that are sustainable. When you're adding in a new habit, ask yourself, is this sustainable? If the answer is no, ask yourself, how can I make it more sustainable? And then go from there. Someone said, how to not let emotional issues interfere in me taking care of myself, becoming strong mentally. Well, here's the thing. They are very intertwined, and you might want to contact me about my emotions class if you haven't taken it. I'm not sure exactly whose question this is, so I don't know that from the top of my head. But what if you rework this and we use a little bit of positive thinking, and instead we make this question, how can you use your emotional issues to be the motivation of taking care of yourself? So I know for myself, I've dealt with a lot of emotional issues throughout my life, and you can use that as the motivation. If you're feeling weak mentally, you can, eat, more alkalizing food because it's going to make you feel better. You can cut out sugar because that it's going to balance out your hormones and make you feel stronger mentally. Do you get what I'm saying? You want to connect the dots. Don't be ashamed of your emotional issues. Talk to someone about them. If you're interested in one-on-one work, I do a lot of this with different women. Yeah, that is what I would say. Connect it. Someone said digestive health, so it really depends on what you're talking about, but that could mean a plethora of different things. But I would say take a good probiotic. I recommended one before, Primal Defense Ultra. Drink a lot of water. Eat foods that have probiotics in them. Separate your drinking water from your eating, and that should be a good start to help you out. Someone said, how can I feel energetic with a 4-month-old baby? So I gave you a bunch of tips before about physically doing things, alkalizing, water, greens, all of that. Another tip I want to give you is ask for help. Women don't ask for help as much as we should. And ask for help, whether that's your spouse or an in-law or your parents or a sibling or someone. Don't put it all on you. Don't fall into this disease. And I'll raise my hand first to say that I'm a control freak and I try to control things and I want to do everything myself, but ask for help because it helps. And even if you're resistant to it, which I am myself, when you do it, you're going to get better at it. And I know this from experience. So ask for help. That is really important. Someone said how to lose weight. That was answered previously. What is the best way to start and stay focused? The best way to start is you've already started because you've signed up for this, and hopefully, inshallah, God willing, you're listening to this. How do you stay focused? You get support, because let's be honest, you're sometimes going to fall off the wagon. We all do. So you need a support system. That could be a buddy that keeps track with you. That could be a coach. That could be a program that you sign up for. That could be even if you have no one, you could journal. You want to keep yourself accountable. Someone said, I know coconut oil has awesome benefits, but I had a question regarding baking sweets if it maintains the same benefits. I like to make sweets every now and then, like baklava and kunafa. Granted, these are not really healthy, but I want to make it healthy as possible. So yes, coconut oil actually really can stand high heat, so it's one of the best things to bake with. It'll still keep a lot of its benefits. It won't have its live enzymes because enzymes die with heat, but and I know that those are definitely not the healthiest things ever, baklava and kunafa, but if you absolutely want to make them and whatnot, it is good to use coconut oil instead of the other things. And I don't even have sugar in my kitchen, but if you're really going to use sugar, I would recommend coconut sugar. You'll see that in my cookbook, which if I'm gonna make something, then I will use that. And then one question that I got sent while I was let's see, that wasn't here, is someone asked, is lemon better than apple cider vinegar? They're both very good. Apple cider vinegar has some properties like being antifungal and whatnot. I would say alternate between the two. I love to use apple cider vinegar to make dressings. And that is what I'll say. So if anyone has any questions, now is the time. Leave a comment. If you don't have a question, feel free to let me know what you think. I'm going to now talk about the 7-day spring detox, a 7-day program that I'm running the end of March, on March 20th. So if you're interested in really being serious about these things and getting support, I would encourage you to stick along. If not, then thank you for coming. There is a feedback form that is right under this video, under this live stream, that I'd love for you to fill out. As a thank you, if you do decide to sign up for the 7-day detox, you get a $10 coupon if you fill out that feedback. And right when you finish the survey, you'll get the like the coupon code will come up, and that is valid through Sunday from the top of my mind. But I'm going to talk a little bit about what the spring detox actually is. And if you have any more questions, feel free to include them. And if you're not interested, then feel free to sign out. So what is the 7-day spring detox? So basically, and there is a typo here, but that's okay. I will fix it. It is a 7-day program, and every day there is a module, so you get a login, you log in, and there's a module, and there are 5 videos each day. And it says here that you'll receive a new no nonsense digestible module every day to guide you through the day. That'll be less than 12 minutes. It's actually 20 minutes, not 12 minutes. So just 20 minutes a day, 5 videos that are all really short and sweet. It's a daily dua, an intention setting video for each day, a daily mantra, a daily relaxation method, a daily detox food where I share like how you can add it into your day, and a daily fitness move. And there's like a quiz at the end of each module. So this is the 2nd year that I am running it. And how amazing. I was just looking at my phone because it keeps vibrating. Now my other sister's trying to get a hold of me. I have 2 sisters, and I love them to death. They usually contact me when they need something, which both of them need something now. And because I don't live with them, so I don't see them all the time. But I will help them out with what they need when I am done, because my focus is on you all right here, right now, inshallah, God willing. So okay, so yeah, so there is a module every single day. And there's actually I made this promo preview video where you could actually get like a preview of what the different videos look like. So if you want to see what that is, there'll be a link at the bottom. So what do you actually need? Each day, there's not the typo here, so you need 20 minutes a day. I really recommend that if you are going to do this program, that you do the modules first thing in the day. Not first thing, but like one of the first things in the day. I know that your time is precious, so it's really efficient. And you can look at like the preview video to kind of get an idea, but they're really efficient. I mean, there is no nonsense there. You need a journal that supports your uniqueness. So it could be a physical journal or notebook, loose pieces of paper, but just somewhere to like write notes. You need an intention to take care of yourself, and highly recommended but not mandatory. You might want to think about, if you're going to do this, to have a friend who could do it with you. And I know there's not many, but there's some people here who took the detox last year. As you know, you have lifetime access. You do not need to purchase the program again. If you're confused if you have that or not, you can feel free to contact me. But and anyone who registers this year, you will have lifetime access forever. And even if you wanted to do it, this is happening live from the 20th to the 26th, inshallah. If you wanted to do it any other time, like, you always have access to it, but then every year I kind of revamp a little bit and add some things or whatever the case may be. So you are always going to have access to that. And now here are some frequently asked questions. What benefits could you get from the 7-day detox? Definitely improved digestion and energy levels, increased faith and mood, healthier relationship with your body, slow death to your excuses, improved body image. And, this comes at you from a mind, body, soul perspective. The dua and the daily mantras are there. The dua is there for spirituality purposes. The mantra is there to get you really focused mentally. You might have heard of detox symptoms. Will you experience detox symptoms? No, you shouldn't, because we're not doing anything extreme. This isn't like a liquid detox or a crazy amount of pills. So you really shouldn't experience that. Is this suitable for you if you're pregnant or nursing? It's not only suitable, but it's arguably more important for you, because you are not just responsible for your body, but also the body of either a baby that is already born and depending on you, or one that is still developing. So a couple of things need to be tweaked for pregnant women or nursing mothers, but I mentioned that. So like in the grocery list, like there's a detox tea that I recommend. You'll see in parentheses, it's safe for pregnant women, but I do mention how you should check with your practitioner if it's okay for you. There's a couple exercise moves that I'll, like, when I'm demonstrating them, I mention like, okay, if you're pregnant, you might want to do it like this instead of like that. When does it finish? It's self-paced, so you could not ideally, but you could technically do it whenever you want. But if you're going to sign up this year, I really highly recommend that you do it live with us, March 20th through the 26th, because I will be fully engaged live, providing support, answering questions in the forums and whatnot. You have lifetime access if you're unhappy with the course. I value everyone's time and money. And just like I do with my one-on-one session and other classes, I offer a full refund. So you have 30 days to ask for a refund. And as it mentions here, I'll issue it within 48 hours. Usually I do it way before then, but just in case, it might take up to that. Another frequently asked question is, if you already eat healthy, can you still benefit from this? My answer to that is absolutely. In fact, you'll probably derive a little bit more because you already have sound habits, so you're able to upgrade them a little bit. But the main focus of this program is about deepening the relationship you have with your body, mind, and soul. So yes. And then another question that's frequently asked is, why should you even pay for this if you can get free information about detoxing and healthy living all over the internet? So you're right. You didn't need to come to this webinar, which was free, or take the 7-day spring detox, which is a paid program, to realize that greens are good for you and lemons and whatnot. But basically, when you sign up for this or any course at a university or online or whatever the case may be, you're paying for the experience of that person. You're also paying for the way that the content is delivered. So it's not just random facts that you find on Google. Google sometimes has you thinking you're dying, but it's all been designed in a way that is it's a course. So you log in and you go through it, and it's designed in a way that is very unique. For me personally, I know that I spent many years studying different areas: neuroscience, creativity, Islam, psychology, physiology. And it's hard to find something that's all packaged this way, based on those values. So that's how I design it. Another question is, if you've taken another program with me before, like maybe my Glow from the Inside Out program or one-on-one coaching or my Ramadan program, can you still benefit from this? Yes. Even if you signed up for the spring detox last year and it's the same material, you can benefit from doing it again. And obviously those people do not need to purchase it again. And the link to learn more is at the bottom of this. Is wellnesswithyasmin.com/spring. And the course is very affordable. It's $95. And like I mentioned, if you fill out the survey at the end of this webinar, you can actually get a $10 off coupon. Like I said, lifetime access. And if you click on that link here, which I'll bring you to it here, there is a video. If you play it here, you could actually get a preview of some of the spring detox content, so you could get like a better idea of it. And yeah, that's it for that. For those of you that stuck around, thank you, for sticking around for that too. And I'm gonna check one last time if there are any other questions that I can attend to. Otherwise, we're done for the night. I hope you enjoyed that content. I hope that the webinar was good. Thank you again for anyone who was here and patient for the technical difficulties. And give me 1 second. I'm going to check if there's any other questions or comments, and then we'll be done. So Erica, hi, how are you? It says that you can hear, but it keeps freezing up. I would check your internet connection. I don't know if something is going on there, but worst comes to worst, you can listen to the recording. That sometimes happens for some people since it is live stream. I know it requires a really good connection, and I'm sure your connections are good, but the internet sometimes does stuff. Sometimes my Wi-Fi acts crazy, so let me know if there's anything I could do. But you could always just backtrack and listen to the recording if that's an issue. So I'm gonna stick around for maybe like a couple minutes in case anyone types in a question, and that'll be that. Thank you for joining. And if you're leaving, have a good night or day, depending on what time it is where you live. And here is at the bottom of it, here is the feedback form. Even if you don't want the coupon, if you don't plan on joining, please fill this out because it helps me improve my services and, do better things for all of you, God willing. So thank you again. And, I'll be around here for a little bit to see if there's any other questions that I can answer. And then I will eventually sign out. Okay, well, that seems to be it. Thank you again for spending this time with me. I appreciate it. I look forward to going through your feedback surveys, and I look forward to those of you that are going to join me for the 7-day spring detox starting on the 20th, God willing, inshallah. And I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day or night. Thank you again for being patient with the technical difficulties earlier. Take care. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuhu. May the peace and blessings of God be unto you all.